Hey guys, what's up today? It's Julie. If you're new to the channel, I am an art teacher by day, and on the weekends, a Seint artist affiliate. I have a background in makeup artistry and fine arts. I worked for over 15 years in the makeup industry alongside brands like Sephora and Christian Dior. And I also have a fine arts background, so I am currently an elementary art school teacher. But what I need to do today is I need to get ready. So hopefully you guys can join me and I'll show you what products I'm using. I'd love for you to come along and see, the beauty of Seint makeup. This is the brand that I absolutely adore. I do have some other products on my stand over here. We have some Dior, we have some Mary Kay, we have some Tatcha, some La Roche-Posay. So we'll just kind of get into it and let you guys enjoy the transformation here. So today I have on my pear eyewear glasses. I actually have on my Wanda frames. They're a clear frame. My daughter loves this cat eye. I have a daughter, she's 6 years old. She's about to turn 7. She loves this cat eye, but I like to change it up. I actually do own a pair of the Larkin frames as well, but I found that these are so similar in shape that I can actually put the Larkin frame over the top and you just see a little bit of peek through. So I have my Larkin topper on over my Wanda frame, and that saves me from having to buy a progressive prescription for my Larkins, which are not progressive. They're single vision. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm a big fan of pear eyewear, P-A-I-R. They are awesome for people who are creative types that like to change up their style each day. I have a ton of these toppers, and I still want more. Okay, so I'm just gonna take these off so we can do our routine. We're gonna get ready. We have a birthday party to go to today, an elementary school age birthday party at a skating rink, and I just need a little bit of makeup. In the future, I would like to do a glam session and show you the beauty of Seint, S-E-I-N-T, the beauty of Seint makeup, and you can do like a glam look with this makeup. Often we see tutorials or videos that showcase the makeup as a more natural, age-appropriate makeup, but it is so much more than that. So I have taken a shower this morning. I do not typically wash my face in the morning. I like to leave this barrier intact, the skin barrier. And what I've currently been doing is I've been using my Seint Plush Prep Mist. If you have not tried this, this is, and I'm trying to get it to focus, this is an amazing product. I believe it has caffeine. Let's go to the iPad here. Let's see what the ingredients are on this product. It is absolutely phenomenal. We're gonna go to Seint website, S-E-I-N-T. I love this makeup brand. They just have the most gorgeous packaging, most gorgeous products. They're amazing. They're competitive formulas. I've tested them alongside brands like Dior, and I just love Seint still. You would think that I would drop it because I love Dior, but no, I love it. Let's see here. This is called the Plush Prep Mist. I have to find it. Can't see without my glasses on. And it is $45, okay? $45 for this beautiful packaged bottle. And it is a caffeine-infused mist that primes, sets, and refreshes your complexion. It has hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and botanical extracts. It has a cooling sensation on your skin. So what I do is I normally just spray. It has a beautifully fine mist. I'm running out. I need to order some more. And, after my shower, look at that. It's getting to the end of the bottle, so we see all this white stuff. But it's really good. It makes your skin really soft. It primes the skin for the Seint makeup. I put it on before my other skincare products, but it works really well after the sunscreen and before the makeup. It just makes the Seint cream makeups go on a lot smoother. But There we go. I just do that. So that was the Plush Prep Mist from Seint. Let me show you the packaging again. It's got some foam in there because we're getting near the end. Then what I do is I do just an eye cream right now. I'm just trying to use up this La Roche-Posay Toleriane Dermalico. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this is what I've been using. I am 45 this year. Actually, I'm 44. I don't know why I do that. I always round up, but I turned 45 in July. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this cream and I'm going to put it in the orbital area. I've just found that this year I have started to develop eczema or some kind of irritation, dermatitis on the upper lid. My skin is really crepey and ultra sensitive. It's like everything burns, even La Roche-Posay, even the Kiehl's barrier protecting cream, everything burns. So I'm thinking it's these eyelash serums that I've been using. I was using the Grande Lash, which works amazingly if you're trying to grow eyelashes. This is an amazing product, but it absolutely irritates the skin on my lids and causes drooping. I didn't notice that years ago when I used it. So I had to stop using it. And then I tried the e.l.f. eyelash serum. And this product is awesome. It's only $8 and it's called the Serum for Brows and Lashes, Lash and Brow Serum. And this product is much more gentle, but it's still causing a burning effect. So I'm gonna try another one. I love Lilac Street eyelash extensions as well, but I just wanted to give my lashes a break because they were, as I would remove them, they would pull a few hairs out each time I would remove them. So I've got my magnifying mirror here and I'm just gonna kind of go underneath the lashes. And this has really made a big difference in the thickness of my lashes, the fullness of my lashes. I do not line the upper lid with this because I don't want any burning. I also use it kind of on the bottom. You can use it on your brows. It's a great product, but if you're sensitive like me, and again, I was never sensitive. It's just as I've turned 45 that I'm noticing this problem. And I think there's many women out there that have this problem when they get older. All right, so I do that. I do my eye cream. I do the lash serum from e.l.f. One that I'm looking at is the Vegamore. Might try the Vegamore eyelash serum. Then after that, I do a serum. Now, I've always loved the Dior Capture line. I've just noticed a wonderful difference in my skin, and the texture of the Dior serum is amazing. I use the serum because it's going to be much more anti-aging. It's going to reach the deeper layers of the skin much more than a moisturizer will. So I've been using this new product. I had used the previous formula, which I loved. This one, I'm not as in love with the texture. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I'm not as in love with the texture of this one, but it's still good. The other one was just much lighter weight and texture, much more silky. But this one has new technology, so I'm gonna go with it. And I normally do 2 pumps so that I can, you know, put some on my neck. And this is the consistency. It's really lightweight. It doesn't have like an overly floral smell, if any at all. I think that they've taken the fragrances out of a lot of their skincare. They're trying to make everything a lot more, you know, user-friendly if you're sensitive, because, you know, French brands tend to have a lot of fragrance. So why am I not using Seint Skincare right now? I love Seint Skincare. They just don't have a serum, and I've written to them. They have a section on our site for people that are signed up as affiliates where they can go in and suggest products that they can formulate. I've mentioned that they need to expand their lineup and do eye cream and serum because they already have a moisturizer. Now I let that kind of soak in. I might get up and do something in the kitchen in the mornings while I'm waiting for that to absorb. And then I come back and I skip a moisturizer and I just go right to my sunscreen. This product is awesome. The Tatcha Silk Sunscreen, wow. If you are oily, if you don't like to have a lot of excess shine, this is the Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Silk Sunscreen. It is phenomenal. Now, I always like to try new sunscreens, so I'll probably try something new. I think I picked up the Kiehl's, but there's no reason why I should leave this, because this is actually perfect for me. I love it. It has like a skin tint to it. Okay, and I just, you know, put a little bit on. Actually, you want to put a lot on. So I usually do a little bit along my finger, and then I do one side of the face. Really get a good coverage of sunscreen. So important for anti-aging. And then I do the other side of the face. Forehead. It's not powdery, it's not greasy, it's somewhere in between. It does not leave a shine on your skin, and it doesn't have a yucky smell. Like some products have like a greasy texture, and they have like a really strong sunscreen smell, and I can't stand that. So I'm gonna do some on my neck. And you know, again, I'm 45, I get lots of compliments on my skin, but I am noticing some challenges, you know, with, you know, sensitivity and things that I used to not have. So again, I got this at Ulta, but it's also available, you know, Sephora. And this is a great product. So I let that kind of seep in. And while this is absorbing, I go right to the eyes. So what we're gonna do is grab, I have this brush holder from Seint. I don't think they make it anymore, but I really like it for my brushes. It's like a bird cage, little rotating dolly in there. It's so cute. I wish they would bring this back, but I think they have something similar on Temu and Amazon you can buy. It's called a bird cage makeup brush holder. They're really cute, but I'm just gonna select one of my favorite eyeshadow brushes from Seint. Seint has great brushes. They're double-ended and great eyeshadows. The shadow formula from Seint is phenomenal. I've tried Dior, I've tried, you know, Tarte, and I mean, I've tried everything. I used to work for Sephora, for heaven's sakes. But Seint's eyeshadows are great. I'm not as into eyeshadows as I used to be. Now, what did I use? I just used the Seint brush cleaner. It has a birthday cake scent to it. And it quickly cleanses your brush, but it dries it instantly so that you don't have to wait to use the brush. Doesn't interfere with your makeup application. So I actually have a Seint red palette here. This is what's great about Seint, is you have a variety of sizes and palettes that you can choose from, even all the way down to a small baby palette. But they also have different, you know, levels. Like you have this one that has 2 levels on it, and you have this long one that has 2 levels. They're great. And then we have this one, 2 levels. And you can see that some of them are absolutely gorgeous. So you get to choose what kind of palette style you like. This one has 2 levels, but we also make a 3-level palette. But these are all my eyeshadows from Seint. These are all the matte shadows. So they have matte, they have shimmer. These are the shimmer. And we also have glitter shadows. So let me show you the glitter shadows that they sell. They're right here. You can see the ultra chunky glitter formula. So I think today what I want to do is I'm going to start with a shimmer. I usually do a shimmer on my lid, and I'm going to do the one of the new shades. We have some really gorgeous shades here. Let's see, what would go with my outfit today? I think I want to do, let's see here. This is a new formula that we've introduced. It's kind of like a speckled or a marbled finish. Let's see if we can get it to focus in. There we go. See how it has all the little speckles in there? This one's called Lemon Drop and it's really pretty. So I'm gonna use this on my my lid. They also have this one, which is gorgeous. This one is called Sugared. Okay. I think they have this in a collection currently, but this one has like a brownish tone, but when you tilt it in the light, it goes gold. It's got like a really cool holographic look. But they're phenomenal. Their shadows are great. So I'm going to go ahead and take my eyeshadow brush and I'm going to go into the formula, get my magnifying mirror here, and I'm going to put it right on to the lid. Now, I typically do some kind of concealer on the lid. I did forget. I just went right for the shadow. But our eyeshadows have no problem lasting all day. They're still really great at lasting even without a primer or a concealer. So I do this on the lower lid only. I do not carry the shimmer up to the crease or past it. I like to do a matte formula on the top. I reach for my brush spray and I do one spray and then I clean the brush. So I use the same brush. I'm not really a fan of having a ton of eyeshadow brushes unless I absolutely need to. I like to streamline my routine. I don't like to have a lot of unnecessary products. Then I flip to my matte layer down here and I think I'm gonna reach for this color here. I've found that I've really gravitated towards orange tones. This one is called Tangerine. This is a beautiful matte shade. Again, let's try it to focus. There we go. And I'm just gonna go in here and get some of that shadow. We're gonna go into the crease. With this, okay? Should be matte. I don't know if this mirror is working for me. Let me try a different one. Let me try this one. This one's pretty. Oh yeah, so I can see much better. That magnifying mirror was showing way too much wrinkle. And then I use this fluffy end just to kind of diffuse it. I know it's hard sometimes to do eyes when you don't have your complexion evened out, but this really helps ensure that the sunscreen will absorb and be ready to accept the makeup. Okay. I don't typically choose a shade for underneath the brows. It just looks too made up for me. I don't know. I just don't like it anymore. Okay. Let's open this up and put it away. So all my eyeshadows are in one place. Now I like to do a liner. And actually, I think I will show you this trick. One of our newer brushes, this is the On Point brush. And it has two duplicate ends that are shaped like this. They're very pointed, but fluffy. So they're great for lining the eyes. And what I've been doing is I've been using our Fixate setting mist. Usually use this at the end of the makeup routine. Let's get it to focus. And you spray this over your makeup. It's a setting spray, but it also works to turn in any shadow into a liner. So I think with this look today, we'll do something brown, not so harsh as black. And I think what I'm going to do is probably reach for something that will complement this. I think I'm reaching for I think this tone will work really good. This is called Lullaby. And I'm gonna make this into my shadow today. So I'm gonna spray some of this into my palette, just a spritz. And I'm gonna use my brush dipped into the setting spray and go into the Lullaby. Okay. So my brush is wet and I'm just gonna go into the Lullaby and make this into a liner. It's just a nice alternative to black, because black can be very harsh. Then what you can do is just go into the shadow with the dry end of your brush and just kind of pack that over the wet side. I'm going to dip back into the setting spray and get a little bit more for the other side. And we did make a cream liner. It's called Black Friday, and I do love to use that as well. But I like a softer eyeliner look. Okay, so I've lined my eyes, just a really soft look. We can take a little bit onto the bottom. So I also have to be careful of red pigment in my eyeshadows, and Lullaby is a purple brown. Okay, so now we have our eyes lined. We can instantly clean our brush with our wonderful Seint spray and have it ready for tomorrow. Put it back in my bird cage, and now we're going to do our fabulous eyelash curler. This is the Crescent Moon. We have two eyelash curlers. We have the Crescent Moon from Seint, and we have the Half Moon. And the Half Moon is going to be, let's turn these to the side. It's going to be, as you can see, it's more of a letter C. See, this has a deeper dip. And then this one is more subtle, like a parenthesis, this one right here. So I found that this one actually works better for me, and this one would be good for someone that has a larger eye socket, deeper set. So I'm gonna use the Crescent Moon. I love this one. I'm just gonna look into this mirror here, and I'm gonna hold it. And I've never been a person that uses eyelash curlers. It's just one more step. But since I have purchased the Seint eyelash curler, I have been using it daily. Because I've been using mascara. As you know, or may not know, I used to be a huge wearer of Lilac Street extensions, at-home extensions, and I still love them, and I think I'm going to go back to them because I like the way they look. But when Seint came out with their mascaras, I did want to give them a try, and I've tried them for over a month, maybe even 2 months now. And they're great, but I still am someone that loves a false lash. It just makes me look, it just gives me that look throughout the day that I like. And this really curls the lashes, okay? Then I go in with, okay, my favorite mascara from Seint is probably gonna have to be their tubing mascara. This is called the Lash Leather, and it is a tubing mascara. It has a beautiful brush. It does give lots of length, but it doesn't give like a really dramatic lash. So what you could do is use the Lash Velvet, which is their volume mascara. I'm trying to get it to focus. This is super hard. What is it? There we go. Lash Velvet. I love the packaging. I love the Seint logo. This is the volumizing mascara. So we'll try this on the top with the tubing mascara to separate. So we're gonna do a little bit of this Lash Velvet from Seint. So Seint never had a mascara before until this year. Okay, can you see that? It is a beautiful mascara. It really, truly is. It does have a lot of product on the brush, so you have to be careful. And then what I like to do is I'll go back with the tubing mascara and just kind of use that to separate a little bit more. Because we all want the best of both worlds. We want volume, but we don't want like clumps. I do know some women that like that look. I think the Seint Lash Velvet does a good job of separating though. It really does. Isn't that pretty? And it comes in black only right now. Now I'll take the tubing mascara, and I absolutely will use this on the bottom. I'm going to use my magnifying mirror to get all the lashes, so we're just going to go in here, go back and forth. And then I like to kind of comb through. Not that it needed it. And you're gonna see a transformation once we start using the Seint Cream makeup. Seint Cream makeup is awesome. I love it. It's so good for my skin. 45 years old. Can't stand the powdery matte finishes anymore. Just can't do it. Okay, so we're gonna jump into that. I haven't done my brows yet, so I will be doing those shortly. Okay, so let's get some makeup on the face. Okay, the sunscreen has absorbed. So I have a lot of makeup products. I have the Christian Dior Forever Natural Nude. I think it's since been reformulated. I have the Christian Dior Forever Foundation Stick. Okay, this is viral right now. I have that. I have the Christian Dior Backstage Face and Body. I have the Christian Dior Forever Matte formula. I have been using these because I have all of them. I need to use them up, but I miss my Seint. So today we're gonna do Seint. These formulas, they don't look good at the end of the day on me. Like, if I'm gonna spend this money, I want it to look as good as Seint. And I think I'm a little disappointed. The problem with Seint is it is a cream, so it looks gorgeous on the skin. It competes with the other high-end makeup lines, no problem. It's just the longevity. You do have to touch up. The setting spray that we have does help. So let me get out my colors that I've been using. So I do have a palette that pretty much has all the shades of foundation that you could ever want. So this is really great to have. So when my skin changes colors, I can find my match pretty easily. With Seint, I find the color matching is not going to be the same as like with Dior. The Dior liquids will oxidize on you, so you have to be very careful. You want to apply it and wait because they turn darker. The Seint, you do want to go darker with because this makeup is heavier, it's more pigmented. It's not stage makeup, but it's a little bit different in how you match. With Seint, the idea is to match to the different areas of your face. You're gonna need more coverage in this area where you have sunspots and redness. You're gonna need less coverage and more brightening above the brows, on the jawline, along the bridge of the nose. Many of us do use the Seint cream under the eyes. I don't. I found Demi our color correcting product from Seint is really good under the eyes. So it's been a while since I've used our Seint makeup, since I've been trying to use up the Dior. So I'm going to go in. I'm trying to remember what palette these are in. I think it is in this palette. It's on the second shelf. I'm going to go in and try some of these makeups here. These are all colors that I can wear. So recently I found that the hazel is a really good color for me because we're going into summer. And I can also wear June. Let me see if I can pull that one out. So here's June, which is more yellow. Trying to get it to focus. June is more yellow. Hazel is more neutral, warm. And I can also use Candlelit. And I can also use Amber and Sandy and all the other shades that Seint makes, because it's an artistry brand. You can custom create your look using different tones. So these are all the colors that work for me. But in the cheek area, I like to do the hazel. Let's just check and make sure that this is going to work. I'm just going to put a little bit of this over the cheek. It's going to give me a warmth, which I like. And let me compare that to the Sandy, because I had been using Sandy as well. This is going to be more of like an olive tone. And see, I could wear either of those. And I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to go with hazel. I like the bronzy nature of hazel. So we have lots of different foundation brushes. We have a blush and bronzer brush, which is very popular. This is what I use with the Christian Dior. It really diffuses the liquid makeup really nicely. But I use this end with the Seint makeup to pat it on. But we also have the 3D brush, which is very similar. The NC, they're very similar, but this has a different end on it, which I don't really use a lot of. I like the fluffier brushes. We have a shape brush, which I love for blush, but this can also be used for a lighter airbrushed foundation. And then we do have a full coverage foundation brush, which is similar to the powder brush. I don't have it in my my brush kit right here. This must be in the bathroom. But I think today what I want to do is I want to do the blush and bronzer brush. This is a great all-around brush. Loving it. And I am going to clean it because I use this for blush. I use it for bronzer. And having the spray is awesome. And if you're not somebody that wants to have a ton of brushes, this is going to allow you to use your brushes on multiple products. And the smell is amazing. It's cake. So I'm going to do the hazel in the cheek area, upper forehead, anywhere where the sun hits. It's not a bronzer, it's a cream foundation. And we're just going to kind of pat into it. And we're going to just kind of stamp this on. I do have one little breakout from falling asleep in my makeup this week. I've been so tired. I'm an art teacher. And the kiln, the oven that we bake the clay in, has been wearing down. It's usually a firing of clay takes about 12 hours on slow, and it's been taking 14 hours. And then the medium setting, it's been taking like 11 hours, and it's supposed to take only 8 hours. So I've been having to, go back up to the school and make sure it's turned off, and it's wearing me down. So I love the warmth that this gives my skin. Of course, this doesn't match with my neck, but we won't be using this near the jawline. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this onto the areas where I need more coverage. You're going to find that Seint will last longer throughout the day if you're using a darker color over the pigmentation and the redness. So you just kind of have to experiment. What's great about Seint is we have a color matching tool, which will show you all the different shades that you can wear. You usually want a coverage shade, you want a highlighting and brightening shade. You might want to have an extra shade for, that winter to summer transit, or the spring to summer transition. It's just good to have a few of these, at least 3 colors on hand at a time. And you don't want to pack on too much. That's why I like this brush for beginning clients. It just gives you just the right amount, okay? So that looks really pretty, and I've noticed that it lasts pretty much all day. Okay, so I did not use this on my nose. I only used it here, here, and here. This is where I use my darker color. The next color that I'm going to use, I'm just going to do a little match here. I'm going to try Candle It. That's Candle It. And June. They both work for me. I think I'm going to go with the June because it's going to really brighten. So, excuse me. And you could go to kind of more of a tapered brush if you want more coverage. I'm just going to stick with the same brush, to be honest with you. We're going to go into June. And we're just going to kind of hit up the jawline with June, because this is going to be a great color to blend your jawline into your neck. I don't even have to put this on my neck. You could if you wanted to. But it blends so seamlessly. So with Seint, they have some wonderful visuals on their website where you're clicking on the colors of foundation. By the way, we call our foundation, our cream makeup, highlights, which is very confusing. They're meant to highlight your face. They're meant to bring out your features, your contours, and this and that. They're called highlights, but they're not an illuminating highlight. They're not a sparkle. They're not a shine. They're just called highlights, but they are our foundation. I also like to use this kind of alongside the nose, on the upper cheekbone, not underneath the eye, because I like to use our Demi lineup of color correctors for that. Just use this kind of on this high cheekbone here. So we're putting it only in the places that we did not put the hazel. I like to do this on the middle of the forehead and above the brows. So you're not layering the makeup as much as you would if you were using one shade of foundation all over, concealer, bronzer, all this stuff kind of layered over itself. Okay, so that looks really good. And then of course we want to do some on the nose. Okay. Now, if your nose starts to disappear during the day, like you lose coverage, just take your finger and do a little bit of the hazel or the darker color that you've chosen with an artist's help over that area where you lose coverage. And I've noticed with the Dior foundation, even the Forever and the Backstage Body face and body makeup, I get like the pores showing through, and you can see where the makeup has, you know, come away. The thing about Seint makeup is that it's a cream, so it kind of it holds the moisture into your skin. It doesn't go into the skin like a liquid foundation. Your skin is thirsty if it's dehydrated. It'll just absorb all the makeup into the skin, and you're gonna be left with a cracked kind of, you know, mottled complexion, where the Seint just holds up, you know, very nicely. Now we're going to do some contour. I have a contour brush here. This is our detail brush. I absolutely love this brush. Okay, and we're going to use the color Astoria. I've been using Astoria, but I also love the color Olive and Indigo. See if we can get it to focus. Not sure if you can see that. This is Astoria. And notice that it's not bronzy. It's not a bronzer. It is a contour. And yes, I do like a contour. And I like a bronzer. But I find myself using less bronzer when I have the right contour. And this is just going to really give me a very youthful look. It's going to give me that chiseled look. This is very flat, and this is very chiseled. And it's a great color for someone like me. And what I normally do is I normally just kind of grab product on one edge of the brush. I don't put it all over the brush, just one edge. So you can kind of see how Again, we're having trouble with just one edge of the brush, not the whole thing, okay? So just going in, and I usually kind of do like a line that goes from the top of my ear underneath the cheekbone. And it's kind of a stamping motion. You're not dragging it and pulling off your makeup that's underneath. So pretty. Just kind of do like an oval motion in that area, and it gives you that shadow. Okay, then I like to do a little bit on the nose, and I find that on someone that has a small nose like me, I like to kind of go right on the top, not on the side, and get that contour. Some artists are using their finger. I've never liked that. I like this brush the best. So just trying to get it perfectly placed is kind of hard. I'll be honest with you. I look back at pictures of me working at Sephora, and I just didn't contour back then. Seint has really introduced me to contour. Now for doing my forehead, I like to use the whole brush. And I'll just kind of go in here. And just get the sides of my forehead. Of course, you can go into your hairline and shorten it if need be. Just looks really polished and beautiful when you do that. And then I go like right in the shadow underneath the chin. I start here and then I go out. So don't start back here. Start here and then go out. And then down. And then if you need to, you can take your blush bronzer brush. Just kind of make sure everything's blended, okay? All right, it's just really pretty. It's getting there. Okay, what do we think? Do we need a little bit more nose contour? Now, of course, we have other brushes that are more precise, but I just really like the hard edge of this brush, the line that it gives. Okay, gives a beautiful contour. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. And for my brows, I like to do a product called Velvet. It used to be NV+1. So here is the NV+1. And now you would look under contour products and it would be called Velvet. And this is going to be good for contouring and for your brows if you're a brunette like myself. And I'm gonna use our brow brush. It's an angled brush. It's really nice. Has a spoolie on the other end, and we're just gonna do some brows real quick. So I'm just gonna look into the mirror and do these. And I find that this formula, which was originally a demi color correcting formula, it's got a lot of wax in it. It's great for the brows. It really does not require a gel unless you have unruly hairs that kind of go in different directions. And we do have a really good brow gel called the Archangel brow gel. I just don't need it personally because I don't have a lot of brow hair. I just need to kind of fill in like so. And there's my brow. On camera, it does look very dramatic, doesn't it? I've used our shadows on the eyebrows before, the Trust or the Kohl, and I just don't like it as much as I do this product. I just love our demi color in velvet, the contour color velvet. Let me see if I have the brow gel. Let me see if I have that with me, and I can at least show it to you. It's a little tiny, here we go. This is the Archangel brow gel. Okay. And it just, you know, if you like your brows to be kind of lifted and furry looking, it kind of gives you back that more natural hair movement. And I don't have to use a lot. And there we go. You can see how beautiful the Seint foundation is. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now we can do some under eye. I should have my demi colors here. So for the eyes, I can use a couple of different colors, and I like to use our, I think this is called the Bright brush. It's a demi brush. Just gonna clean it off. I think we're gonna probably finish this in the hours, which will be awesome. And what I like to do is take kind of a peachy color for shadows. These are our color correcting colors, with the exception of these two colors. These are cream eyeliners, I believe, but everything else is a color correcting color. I really like the RO3, which I think is this one, and the O1 is good. Anything with pink or peach is going to be really good underneath the eye. So let's try a little bit of the RO3 kind of brushed on underneath the eye here in this inner area. It's just really going to brighten and cover any shadows, kind of reverse the shadows without giving you a layer of thick cream concealer, which I find will crepe and crease after application on more mature skin. Now, if you have a really dark shadow that's just not going away, you could kind of brighten up a little bit more going with a lighter shade. Sometimes I'll use the, let's see if I can find it. This is the OR1. This is a good one to just kind of further brighten that shadow right here on this side. Is a real, you know, noticeable shadow. Not so much in the natural light though, I notice. And then O1 is a great color for like lighter complexions. This is also, the demi formula is great as kind of a highlighter on the nose bridge. I just love it there. Looks really pretty. You can also use this kind of underneath your brow. I just love doing my makeup in natural lighting. It looks so good. If you have redness around the nose, the YO1 is a good one for redness. Again, these are our demi color correcting colors. Now we can get into blush. I do want to go ahead and put on a lip liner. Let's do the Christian Dior. Did I leave it in the bathroom? Oh no. The Christian Dior Rouge Dior Contour is a great lip liner. It lasts all day. It is truly a long wear lip liner. We do have a wonderful lip liner with Seint. It's called Suede, and I like that, but it's not as long lasting. So I usually like to do a Dior lip liner. And this color is a little bit reddish brown. I would prefer something a little bit less dark, but it does have a really nice brush. And it is really set. So I usually like to leave a little bit of a lighter tone on the center of my lip for volume, and I kind of pencil in the edges, the corners with the Dior. Okay. Then you can use like a Dior Maximizer, which is a plumping balm, or we have this new scent-free lip whip from Seint, which is really moisturizing. See if I can get it to focus. It has a curved lip applicator. I'm just going to squeeze a pearl out, and we're just going to let that kind of seep in while you're doing your cheeks. We're going to go for a cheek color now. Let's kind of look into our cheek colors. I love Seint lip and cheek colors. We just recently came out with a lip tint, which is kind of like a stain, and I left those at my work. I had taken them in to show to a potential client, but I left them at work. But I still love the variety of colors that we have in our lineup. These are the satin formulas. They're going to be more matte and long wearing. And then these are the glossier shades, and they're going to be more of a sheen. They're both beautiful. I like to layer the two. I like to do a sheen over a satin. I do have a third layer here with the limited edition colors that we offer. So today I think I want to do something kind of like orangey. So I'm looking at, in this lighting, I like the Tropicana. That's really pretty. Another one that would be gorgeous is Frenchy. I don't know why, but I always reach for Frenchy. It is such a pretty color. But I do like colors that have more pop. Let's kind of flip through the book here and see what else we can find. Disco Inferno is beautiful. I might do Disco Inferno today because that gives just such a pretty color. It is more of a glossy formula. Let's see, did I? Okay, so we'll just put a little bit on with our finger. And then take the shape brush. This is the shape brush, and just kind of blend that in. And our blushes are so pretty. I just cannot go back to a powder. Dior has launched some new blushes and bronzers, and I tried it and they're just too dry. I just love the way that looks. That's so pretty. So with these glosses, I like to use my finger first, because if you do the brush into the gloss, it kind of gets a little bit too much. But I'm a blush person. I just love color. I like to have bright cheeks that last all day. So I'll show you how to achieve that. You can do a little bit of this on the lips too. Okay, and sometimes I like to go back with like a lighter color and just tap the center of the lip. See if we can do that today. Let's use a little bit of the Frenchy in the middle. Just to get more dimension. It's so pretty. We do have other products. We have illuminators. I don't know if I have one here. Let's see what I have. Let's see what I have. I don't think I have any with me. Let's check in here. Nope. I just think with Seint that you really don't need an illuminator because it's already illuminated enough. I just don't think you need it. But we do need to powder. So Seint has some beautiful powders. I don't have them with me right now because they're at work. I left them at work because I was showing them to a friend. But I do have a Mary Kay powder. This is their Mary Kay translucent loose powder, kind of like an HD powder. It's okay. It's not the most airbrush looking powder, but you can use it with a brush. You can use it with a sponge. I think today I'm just going to stick with my shape brush because the sponge just, I don't know, it just packs it on too much. I'm going to flip this over to the more narrow side, and we're just going to kind of brush this over this area here next to the nose and right up here. And I don't like to have powder under my eyes. I just don't like it. So I kind of avoid this area. My skin looks really good right now, everybody. I very rarely powder my nose. I just powder the forehead. And then I like to use our bronzer. So we're gonna reach for the Xanadu, which is a shimmer bronzer, and I like to have it right next to the Bella. So here's Bella, here's Xanadu, and I like to just take this large brush, and I like to just kind of go into both of them. And this just kind of unifies everything. You know, it kind of softens that powder. It unifies your blush and your contour. And this is just such a beautiful lineup of makeup. Loving it. And at the end, you can set with the spray. We've been getting a lot of comments on our spray, the setting spray, about how wet it is coming out. It doesn't bother me. They say to press it all the way down. So don't just do half pumps, but I'm just going to hold it back here and let it just kind of set. And that's going to set everything. Okay. So hopefully this all, you could use your little perfector if you wanted to, just to kind of press that in if you wanted to. Hopefully this helps you out with Seint makeup. You can kind of see how gorgeous this is. I'm just going to kind of lean in and let you see how flawless this makeup is. It's beautiful. Okay, so we are just under an hour. If you would like to try this makeup, if you would like to try Seint and be a client of mine, I would love to introduce you to what colors you would need. I would love to update you on new product launches from Seint. I really love makeup. I love the relaxation of it. I just love the time, the quiet time to do this for you guys. So let me know. And if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm not usually a stickler for pressing people to subscribe, but it is taking a lot of time to make these videos, so I'd love to have a following. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again. Bye.